Hey boys and girls, welcome back to Virtual VBS. Again, my name is Ryan Taylor, I'm the children's pastor here. Thank you again for tuning in to our worship rally, but now it's time to get into our virtual VBS aspect of VBS. So again, you're about to see an artifact video, you're gonna see a Bible story lesson video, Bible lesson video. Then after that, you'll see a cool mission video that our church, GFBC, is a part of. And then after that, you'll get to learn about our craft for today. So again, thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of the week. Enjoy Virtual VBS, Destination Dig.
Hey everyone, Andy Cook again, helping you unearth the truth about Jesus. One day Jesus healed a blind man. The Bible tells us this happened in Jerusalem, and we believe it happened on a place called the Temple Mount, or perhaps on the steps leading up to the Temple Mount. If you visit Jerusalem one day, you can walk on those same steps. You can walk around the same Temple Mount. And while you're there, it's easy to imagine the day when Jesus met a man who had been blind since he had been born. Now, according to John's Gospel, Jesus made some mud, put it on the blind man's eyes, and told him to wash in the pool of Siloam. Only a few years ago, archaeologists dug underneath the neighborhood just down the hill from the Temple Mount, and they found the first row of steps that led to the pool of Siloam. Over the years, ancient cities like Jerusalem have grown taller. You see, earthquakes and wars destroy one version of a city. Then new residents come in and they build new buildings on top of the old. That's why archaeologists are always digging down in the dirt, digging down to find the past. Well, just a short distance from the Pool of Siloam, archaeologists found a Roman street that led from the pool up to the Temple Mount. The street's in a tunnel today because the street was covered up many centuries ago. That's why modern-day archaeologists had to dig down to find it. This is amazing to me because you see, when Jesus healed the blind man, this is the very street he would have walked coming from the Temple Mount going to the Pool of Siloam. He came down the street blind with mud on his eyes. He washed off in the Pool of Siloam and he went back up the street able to see. It was an amazing miracle that had all of Jerusalem talking. By the time you get to visit Jerusalem, archaeologists will probably uncover more of the Pool of Siloam and more of that first century street. That means you'll be able to walk where Jesus walked, even if you have to walk in a tunnel. The Pool of Siloam and that first century street and the Temple Mount and the steps leading up to the Temple Mount, those are examples of something you can find all over Israel. Because when the Bible tells us where an event like this took place, archaeologists can use the Bible like a map and find places like the Pool of Siloam. The Bible is a book that tells us the truth. We'll be back tomorrow, helping you uncover more of the truth about Jesus.
Hey everybody, I'm Miss Emily, and it is time for our Day 2 Bible story. Now, you just saw that really cool video about the Pool of Siloam, and we saw how they had tunnels dug from the Pool of Siloam up to the temple and how the archaeologists had to dig down to get to those tunnels. But if we think about what is something that the archaeologists might need in that dark tunnel, maybe like a flashlight? Think about this. The blind man in our Bible story today, even a flashlight would not have helped them like it might have helped the archaeologists. So I imagine that he struggled. So we're going to get into our Bible story and how the Pool of Siloam ties into our Bible story today. But first, I have some dirt and I have some water. And I'm just going to mix it up. A little bit of dirt and just a little bit of water, and we're going to see what happens. Let me give that a stir. What's happening is it looks like it's making mud. Let me add a little bit more water. So when I mixed up my dirt, my ordinary dirt, and I poured in my ordinary water, all I have is this yucky ordinary mud. And do you think there's anything special about this mud? Do you think maybe this mud might be magical? No. But I think that in our Bible story, Jesus is going to do something really cool with this mud. So let me open up my handy dandy Bible and we will read the Bible story from today. It says, as Jesus went along, he saw a man who was blind. He had been blind since he was born. Jesus' disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned? Was this man born blind because he sinned, or did his parents sin? It isn't because this man sinned, said Jesus, and it isn't because his parents sinned. He was born blind so that God's power could be shown by what's going to happen. While it is still day, we must do the works of the one who sent me. Night is coming, then no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. After he said this, he spit on the ground. He made some mud with the spit, then he put the mud on the man's eyes. Go, he told them, wash them in the pool of Siloam. Siloam means sent. So the man went and washed, and he came home, and he was able to see. His neighbors and people who had seen him earlier begging asked questions. Isn't this the same man who used to sit and beg, they asked. Some claimed that he was. Others said, no, he only looks like him. But the man who had been blind kept saying, I am the man. Then how were your eyes opened, they asked. He replied, the man they called Jesus made some mud and put it on my eyes. He told me to go wash in the pool of Siloam. So I went and washed, and then I could see. That's an amazing story about how Jesus demonstrates God's power, which is the main point of what we're learning about today. So, Jesus had the power to take something ordinary, like this mud, and do something amazing. He worked a miracle, and he made the blind man able to see. That helps us remember that Jesus demonstrated God's power.
Welcome you to a mission moment at Gardendale First Baptist Church, and from time to time we're going to do these, and today we got a special time to be with you, and we want to deal with this subject, our mission partnership with India. And one of the precious folks that have gone with us to India is Hope, and Hope Hill is with us today, and she went with us to India, and it was just a phenomenal trip. We've been there several years, got a great partnership with our folks in India. But I want to ask Hope a few questions about it and just let her respond to you about her experience in India. So Hope, tell me, when you first got on the scene and we drove up to that gate, what did you experience? What was it like?
Well, so we were on a bus, and you could hear the kids before you even walked in, and they were excited. And as soon as they opened that gate and we walked in, they welcomed us like family. They called us auntie and uncle, and they were excited to see us, and they had signs made with our names on them. So we just felt welcomed and loved, and we had never even met them before, but we felt like we knew them as soon as we walked in.
That's true, so true. And you got to understand, this is an orphanage. So we go into an orphanage setting. It's a compound, and there's over 300 children that live in this orphanage from age 3, up to their teenage years, and then they age out and they have to leave. But it's an incredible opportunity that we have to serve the Lord there in India. But Hope, let me ask you another question. What are some of your fondest memories of that trip?
I would say most of the fondest memories happened in the chapel, and so we were able to lead like a worship service for them. Saw the kids dancing and worshiping. We got to read God's word with them. But then another one would be when we got to hand out the clothes and shoes to them. You wouldn't think that having kids here in the U.S., you give them clothes and shoes all the time, and they're not as excited. But to give them clothes and shoes, it was like Christmas morning for them. So they were so excited, and we were excited to give that to them. And it was just one of those moments where you felt the hands and feet of Jesus in that moment, and you're just so blessed and able to do that for them.
Wow. It is an incredible moment as they all line up and got the guys in one group and the girls in one group, and we're actually able to hand them their clothing. It's an emotional moment as well, just to see the excitement on their faces to receive a small gift. But Hope, you know, there comes a time where all of a sudden it's time to leave. So how would you share with us, what would be the hardest thing that you probably experienced there on this mission trip?
So one of the things they tell you when you walk in is, you know, the U.S. that's your home away from home, but this is your home. So when you leave, you really feel like you're leaving your home, and you grow to love them over the days that you spend with them, because you're spending from morning time all the way till night time with them. So you feel like when you leave, you don't want to leave because you want to stay with them and be with them, because they have an unexplainable joy of the Lord that I don't feel like I get to experience all the time. So it was very hard to leave.
I agree. You know, when we load up in our vans, our buses to go back to the airport, just seeing their faces and seeing, I don't know how to explain it. You just have to be there, just to go and experience it for yourself. So Hope, if you could share anything with someone about thinking about a mission project, what would you share?
Well, India was my first overseas mission trip that I ever went on, so it was a great first one to go on. I would say do it. There's so many excuses to not do it, but God tells us to go across the street and around the world. And so I would say whatever you're capable of doing, do that, because the Lord really wants to use you in whatever gifts and talents that you have.
Great. So I hope you've enjoyed this mission moment that we've had with you today, dealing with India. And hopefully one day God will open the doors back for travel internationally, and you can join us as well on a mission project. So thank you for tuning in with us, and you pray for India as we pray for India, pray for our partnerships, pray for these children, and may God bless you.
Good morning, it's craft time. Welcome to day 2. Day 2, we're going to magnify Jesus, because that's what we always want to do. We want to magnify Jesus, and he will get bigger as we get smaller. So take your day 2, it's called Destination Magnify Jesus. And as you go inside your bag, you're going to look for your day 2 craft supply. Go ahead and pull that out, and you're going to need the yellow sheet as well. So once you have both of those, you're ready to go. A sneak peek. This is what it'll look like in the end. As you see, we want to magnify Jesus, because you will find me when you search for me. And what a better way to search than with a magnifying glass. And remember, that's out of Jeremiah 29:13. So you're definitely going to need a glue stick before you start this, because we have several things to glue on. But take out your day 2 with your directions. You will have a magnifying glass. You will have the God cross and the smaller cross. So, as I put the magnifying glass, I'm going to glue it right on the paper, because that's what I'm going to use to search. And they say we'll find him if we search for him, and that is what we'll do. Put that one on, and as I search, I find the cross in my magnifying glass. But as you look, it magnifies. And you have this. Enjoy.